Good evening, everybody. This is Jeff, and we're here with the Couples Academy show, and we have.
And I'm Lakeisha Hines. Hello, hello.
How's everybody doing this evening? We are doing Ask the Experts, and we don't have any questions yet, so you guys need to ask some questions. Want to let you know about Last Chance Weekend coming up February 11th through the 13th. We're really excited about this. This is going to be our Valentine's Day edition. What better way to start Valentine's Day this year than with a repaired, happy relationship with a good forward outlook for the future. So I'm going to give you guys a moment to actually start asking your questions, and we are going to go to the commercial for that. 1 second here. All right, Keisha, did you want to do some shout outs? We got a couple of people jumping in here.
Yes, I do. Hello, Cali Power Couple and Miss Jules Celise. Yes, Shalise. And JG Gonzalez. What's up, Gonzalez? That's your homeboy, Jeff.
Yes, what's going on, Gonzalez? So we don't have any questions. So you know what our rule is about questions, right? If nobody has questions, we're out in like 30 seconds. Is that what it is?
Right.
Something like that?
Yep, that's it.
I got something that I think the fellas could use that I'll just drop real quick.
All right, drop it.
While we're waiting for these questions to come in. And one of these things that I do with the guys that I work with is what's called daily deposits, right? And we all have, our financial bank accounts. I think I've talked about this before. You put money in and you pull money out. You put money in, you pull money out. And then once in a while, you make a mistake and you get insufficient funds, right? If you write a check on it, and sometimes the bank will cover it for you, especially if you have a good relationship with them. But if you do that too many times, they cancel your bank account. Well, our wives, fellas, have emotional bank accounts. And we're really, really bad at making deposits. And even when we make deposits, we want to get the accolades of making that deposit.
Mm-hmm.
And that is almost like making a withdrawal. But the point to a savings account is that you put the money in and you never look at it.
Right.
You don't need the acknowledgement. You don't even want to know how much is in there until there's an emergency or something that pops up. So I would suggest you guys find creative ways to make a deposit into the lives of your wives every day. With my guys, we do 2 deposits. Those 2 deposits are where we get creative, fellas. We go back to the ways of the things we did to woo her, to charm her, to win her over. And so some of you guys used to be poets when you were young and you wrote little poetry and you don't do that anymore. well, maybe it's time to pull that back out. Maybe it's time to run around the internet and find some things that make her happy. Little memes that make them smile during the day to let them know that you care. Stick-it notes. When was the last time you took her on a picnic lunch? When was the last time that you see buying flowers and telling them I love you? That's whack.
Listen,
you should be doing that anyway.
You better talk about some post-it notes.
Yeah, little post-it notes, man. Leave them strewn all over the house. You know what I mean? Create a little treasure hunt for her to find whatever the end surprise is. Maybe it's breakfast, something simple. These don't have to cost money. They just have to mean something. Mm-hmm. Dreamscaping's another one. Plan your next vacation with her, beside her. Don't do it separately. A lot of people do those separately.
Yeah.
Dream about the next big house. Just sit and go house hunting on realtor.com or one of those other places. Realtor, you owe me for that. But you go on one of those websites and just look at the next house. Even if it's a 20-year plan, and even if it's not even reasonable, it can be impossible. But you got to remember, fellas, we grew up with all kinds of different accolades and different things that we wanted to be. You know, one guy's a firefighter, another guy's a cowboy, this guy's a soldier, this guy's this. No man I ever knew was raised to be a prince. But every little girl I know was taught to be a princess. So the key is understanding what you would do to win the heart of a princess. And if you get into that mode and you do it on a daily basis, no days off, what you'll find, and you don't look for praise every time that you go do something. What you're going to find is that every time you go to that account and you need that support, it ain't going to be, she ain't supporting me. It's going to be, she's really, really supporting you. So that is my little tip for you fellas. Start depositing in your wife's emotional bank accounts and do it today. Start today. So I take all my guys 15 minutes every morning just to plan out as many ideas as they can. And their goal is to get 1 or 2 a day. Keep these in a journal, and then you'll never run out of things. That way, that one day that's really crazy, you can go back and pick all the ones that you didn't do and just get creative with it. Get romantic with it.
Jeff, right, I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Do men have an emotional bank account?
Yes, we do. We do have an emotional bank account, but usually us fellas are in the doghouse for not paying attention to it. So if you want your wife to deposit in your emotional bank account, the easiest way to do that is make sure you deposit in hers.
I love it. I love it.
We've been vacant and only using our checking account.
Right. So, question came in.
Okay.
What do I do if my spouse looks at women right in front of me?
Sounds like a problem. I would address it. Call him out.
Okay.
Like, obviously, if somebody is disrespectful to that point, they're disrespectful to that point.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I would take a real good look at the men surrounding your man. Now, either your man is the problem and he's the one influencing all of them, or he's being influenced because of the company he keeps. And that's going to be a problem as long as he has that type of negative influence around him. And I'll tell you, the source typically is unrequited ambition in other areas of their life. Men are hunters by nature, okay? And we hunt. There's 2 things men hunt for in this world. And I'm going to catch flack for this one, but I don't care. Anybody who knows me knows I don't care. It's woman and resources. Once you got your woman, you should be satisfied and you should be chasing the resources.
Right.
Right? The problem is when men can't find a way to chase other resources, they sedate themselves with things they find that come easy so that they can feel like they're winning. Sometimes that'll be alcohol, drugs, and many times they'll end up being women. Sometimes they'll replace all of that with video games. That's the benign way.
Right.
Sometimes they'll do it with football, and women do it too. They go over there and they watch their shows and gossip and do all those things to keep themselves entertained. And that form of sedation is all vicariously living through someone else's life, and really you need to get your own.
Right.
So this dude needs to get a life.
Dang, Jeff, he need to get a life?
Yeah, because chasing women is not a life.
Agreed. 100%. All right. Goodness, Jeff, you're so tough on the man. I love it though. Tough love, right?
They can be tough on me.
Yeah, tough
I
love.
like being held accountable.
All right. Cali Power Couple says trying to work on our sexual intimacy and intimacy in general post infidelity. He wants it daily, and I'm triggered daily. Help. So we get this question often where couples are not sure, like when they should start back having sex after infidelity. And, we're always, I think we all are in agreement that it really depends on the couple, right? We're not going to give you a time frame and say, oh, you need to wait 2 weeks or 2 months or 2 years or whatever, right? There's really not a number that we can give, but it needs to be, you guys need to be in agreement of when you're going to regain intimacy, sexual intimacy. And oftentimes it happens too soon. That's something that we've talked about too. Sometimes, you jump back into intimacy too soon, you're not ready. And that happens for many, many reasons. But he wants it all the time, which means he's super attracted to you. He still desires you and you're being triggered. So you got to deal with those triggers. I don't know how you've been dealing with the triggers. Because I know Cali Power Couple, you're on here pretty much every day. And I personally just don't know what work you guys have previously done. But I know that the triggers are like super, super important for you to deal with. And it's normal for sex to heat up or increase like after you've had an infidelity. The issue is, are you working on the emotional intimacy or are we just jumping to the sex? Is that what you feel like your spouse is doing? Is he not showing up for you emotionally in the way that you need him to? Are you guys working on the relationship, healing that, recovering from the infidelity? Or again, are you just trying to jump into having sex? So that I don't know.
Jewel has the answer.
Oh, I didn't see Jewel. Put it up there. Pour into that emotional bank account.
I'm telling you, dudes, this is the way.
Make
This is
deposits.
you gotta understand. Foreplay don't start even on the same day.
Yep.
Foreplay starts all the time.
Yeah.
So the way you're getting in a mood and you're chasing that hunt, like, but the truth of the matter is you gotta prep, especially if you're in the doghouse.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna have to build that emotional bank account because when you start dreamscaping with your wife, when I'm serious, we seriously dreamscape. We will sit on the internet, shop for homes that we ain't gonna get for another year or two. We'll shop for places we want to go that we're not gonna go for a year or two. We literally dream together.
Mm-hmm.
And when a vision is created that's dreamed together, what you find is that you're so focused on the triggers of the future that are positive that you don't have time to dig. That's not that the old triggers aren't going to pop up. I'm just saying the emotional bank account is being built up in such a way,
right,
that you're going to want to give it to him. You're going to want to be intimate with him. Brothers, we got to earn that. Earn it back. And stop looking at the bank account. Build it up. I'm telling you, my wife don't touch me. Don't touch me. Get away from me. Don't touch me. I know what that looks like, fellas. But I'm no stranger to that. This isn't like happy, lovey-dovey couple that was perfect from day one. It was 10 years of hell. And now the last 10 years have been good. The last 5 years have been excellent. And now it ain't always me chasing. Sometimes she chasing. It's because of the deposits.
Like, it's because of the deposits. It's because of the deposits, but it's also women need to be fulfilled sexually also. So I'm not speaking directly to you, Cali Power Couple. I'm speaking in general that we both need to be getting fulfilled
exactly
in this way, right? If we're gonna have sex, it needs to give. I need something to look forward to. You need something to look forward to. So it needs to be worth my time and energy to go there with you. So
I'm just saying, if the triggers are there, you got to set the stage.
Oh, absolutely.
And if you like,
absolutely,
we going on this trip next month for our 20th anniversary. So I didn't let her shop for herself. All her bathing suits that she just got, I bought them all. They just showed up to the house and she's like, oh my God, I learned her.
Mm-hmm.
My whole goal was that I wanted to be able to replace instead of being jealous of her girlfriend's time and attention. I wanted her to spend more time with me doing the things that she loves than she does with her homegirls or her best friend.
Mm.
And I won that game. And when I won that game, fellas, I know it's uncomfortable. Yeah, I know. That means you got to spend at least one day every 6 months studying some fashion stuff. It sucks. But I'm going to tell you one thing. I ain't begging.
Well,
You can continue to keep your pride and beg, or you can go learn something about your spouse.
well, all right then. JG says, after infidelity, much needed changes have happened. We've gotten much closer and our love feels stronger. But as Hassani said, the unfaithful also feels pain. How can I get my husband to open up about that?
Talk to me, bro. Seriously, like, you need a pattern in your life that builds and breeds success. The whole goal here for you is to become undeniable in everything that you do in life. In your spiritual quadrant, become undeniable. No one can ever shake your identity of who you are. Not who you were yesterday, who you are today. That no one can shake you emotionally. That you're not moved by every little thing that happens in your path, and that you have a lot more control over the things that happen in your path emotionally. That your body's where you want it to be, that you're physically fit, and that you can create the environment that you're choosing, which in America means you're talking about finances and money. So if you can become undeniable in those four categories, if you can become what, if we were to rate it on a 1 to 10, 7 through 10 in each of those categories, Lakeisha, we're not going to put your man on the spot, but figuratively, right? If your man is a 7, 8, 9, or 10, spiritually, emotionally, physically, and financially, are you complaining?
No. Well, first of all, my man is, so I'm definitely not complaining.
I've only met him via Zoom, so I just didn't want to put him
he's
on the
not
spot.
begging. He is definitely not begging.
There you go. See, like, the key to the happy relationship is really built in the personal development. It really is. And when you come together,
for real,
that's how you become the power couple. For real, for real.
For real, for real. Listen, I it's crazy too, because I remember saying to my husband, like, I have no excuse. Like, if he wants to go hang out with his friends, or he wants to take a trip, or he wants to spend time away from me, from the kids, or whatever, just have some man time, or if he wants to just watch football for like 10 hours, there's like no complaints, because he has made so many emotional deposits. I have no excuse. I have no reason, no justifiable reason to say no. And
There's
like
probably
me,
times when you want him to just go so you can have some me time, right?
no,
my wife definitely wants me to go sometimes. She's like,
well, no,
too much.
We are in our like second honeymoons. So no, I don't want him to go. But I understand what you're saying. And I am just confirming that men,
I overkill sometimes.
Well, maybe that's why, Jeff. But I'm saying, men, real talk, like, making those deposits, right, are so important. It's not just about getting sex. It's about intimacy. It's about rebuilding trust. It's about setting expectations so that she knows that you're going to show up for her, and giving her that confidence that her man is going to be there, and leaving her without excuse, right, to do
like
her
this?
work. I'm sorry?
Like this.
Oh, what'd she say? My husband is building the emotional bank account every day. He sends me songs and talks life into me. He is really trying, and I see him. That's what I'm saying. Like, you want your husband to show up like that, like real talk. And I'm not saying do exactly what her husband is doing. I'm saying he needs to show up and do the things that do it for you, whatever works for you, right? But when he does that, consistently, man. When you do that consistently, you leave her without excuse. Because that's what we find so many times, that the spouse is always like, oh, well, they don't do this and they don't do that. And so until they do this, I'm not going to do my work, which is wrong. But leave them without excuse, because you're doing your work. They can't blame you for not doing theirs.
Here we go. How do
How
I
do
know
I
if
know
it's yep.
if it's me or him? He's cheated and I found out. I love him and all I want is the truth. I've tried all ways that has been known and he doesn't open up. He thinks intimacy is a continuation, or that's it.
Intimacy is
Oh, he thinks intimacy is sex.
Eric,
Well,
I got two things for you. Two things. Last chance weekend, we'll put them in my hands with Foundry. If last chance weekend, we'll let you guys get it together and build, and if there's things that need to be done together to work it all out and get the truth, that's where you're going to get it. And if you put them in my hands with the Foundry, we're starting another class in February. This is for the men, just so you guys know who don't know what Foundry is. It's where we teach these guys how to really, really get it back under control. Because a lot of men, we go through midlife crises and many crises, and we're rediscovering ourselves in our middle-aged selves, trying to figure it all out. Because everything that we thought was going to work in life didn't work, and now we're like trying to figure it out, and there's no one around us that has what we want or been where we've been, and we're kind of stuck. And if you don't have good examples and the only thing you can see is on TV, you're going to be all messed up. So, like I said, if you guys have worked through your normal issues, then put them in my hands. If not, come to Last Chance Weekend, February 11th. Also, wanted to, I saw here, we got Gonzalez. He says men have to become a student of your spouse. That's absolutely right. And just so you know, Gonzalez, his wife is the one saying that was before was
the
saying,
bank account's looking good.
yep. Okay. Looking at people doesn't necessarily mean that you're checking someone out. FYI, I was the unfaithful male. And as for the emotional bank account, I get that. But that's a fine line. I don't know how it's a fine line. You're going to have to explain that to me, brother. I know it works for me. I know it's working for me. Oh, look at Gonzalez out here with rule 2. He didn't explain that, but all my men have rules. We live by these rules. We live by code. That's what makes us different. That's what makes us successful. Rule 2 is, you got to define what you want as an outcome. Clearly define what you want as an outcome. And you got to ask yourself a couple of questions. What is my willingness to learn? What is my willingness to accept change? And what is my willingness to put in time, money, and effort? You want to find out more about that? Foundry's the way.
Yeah.
All right. So what we got going on, Lakeisha? What do we want to do? You want to read something else, or?
I'm good. I mean, I feel like we got a couple more questions up in here, Jeff.
Okay. Let's see. What do we got? We got Ralph.
All right.
My background was rough from my family growing up and being told that there was no one better than me. But when I explained what happened to me, my parents said that I was lying and to stop lying when I told the truth. And now I was lying a lot. And now that I started telling the truth again, it backfires on me since I lied for many years in my relationship. How do I get through it? When someone says that I'm lying, it triggers me to think that I'm worthless and always doing wrong. That's a spiritual problem, brother. It really is. You need to find a sense of identity and stick to it and believe in it. And that's what we do in Foundry every single night with these guys. Every single day, there's a check-in every single day. And we're building that foundation for these men. If you can get into it, man, I'm telling you, like, I can sit here and give you one snippet of advice or give you a book to read, and I will. Okay, let's see here. What's a good way to figure out yourself? There's a book by a man named Sadhguru called Inner Engineering. Now, I will tell you that was one of the fastest ways that I figured out who I was by reading that book. I got a bunch of them, though. But my guys in my group have a whole book list of 100 books that have all been vetted. If you can get into the program, brother, reach out. Who do we have next?
All right, Miss Jessica says my husband cheated on me a year ago. He changed a lot. He shows the good way, but I'm watching videos, and when I'm asking to do it together, he doesn't want to. What should I do? I'm trying.
Okay, so he's changed a lot and he's doing some good things, and you want him to watch these videos with you. I get it. You have to understand, guys run from therapy and they run from these kinds of things. It's just not popular. It's not even accepted by men to do these kinds of things because they think they've got it. But the truth of the matter is, every man needs another man. It's just in fact, somebody just show you the way. We didn't grow up in
Mhm.
a society that had rites of passage or a path to becoming a man. What we did is we had a father who went to work and came home and barked a few times, sat down at the dinner table, if we were fortunate to have that. And so the whole idea is that someone needs to show us a path that
Mhm.
works. And it needs to work in their lives. It can't just be something they're telling us to do. You have to see the
Right.
fruits of that in their lives. And, you know, take a look at the people around them. And if he's looking empty, let's get him on a call. Like, get him on a call with Asani, get him on a call with me, and we can talk to him for 5 minutes. I guarantee you he'll see that there's a difference.
All right. Steven says, my wife and I haven't had sex on the regular in 5 years. I've never cheated or entertained any woman trying to flirt with me. I need help. Steven, my advice to you would be to try to identify um, what the shift was. Have you had a conversation with your wife? And again, no disrespect, my brother, but women like sex
Just as
just
much
like
or
men.
more.
Okay. So if she's not having sex with you, there has to be a reason. And have you asked her? Have you had a conversation? There have been so many different studies out there about sexual desire and how we speak different. We know about love languages or whatever. We have different sexual languages as well. So maybe getting some more information about what her sexual love language is and what yours is, because they most likely are not the same. So what's doing it for you may not be what's doing it for her, and it may not be enjoyable to her. There could be something physically going on with her. I don't know the age of your wife, so I don't know if she's at that menopausal age, because it could be a hormonal thing. Like, there's so many different things that could be going on with her, but it all starts with a conversation and understanding, is there an emotional disconnect? Because I've said this so many times, right? With men, it is literally the connection is from here to your penis. For women, the connection is from their head to their heart to their vagina. So if we're
Absolutely.
not feeling you mentally, we're not feeling you emotionally, nothing's happening down there. So you've got to pour into us mentally and emotionally, and then I don't see where there would be an issue.
I'm going to go back to daily deposits, but I'm going to do my little clairvoyant trick. By the way, clairvoyance just means to see clearly in French. But I'm going to do my little clairvoyant trick, and I'm going to bet that once you got to the part of being married, that you no longer had a dream, a goal, or a vision for your marriage together. And so there's no excitement to chase. You guys are doing your individual routines and you're coming out with that as a stress release. I'm not saying this is necessarily just you. I'm saying this is men in general. Typically, we all end up being husband and wife, and then it might be kids involved, and then the goals stop. The goals together stop.
Mhm.
It becomes more business, paying the bills, going to work, taking care of the groceries, take out the trash, honey, do that list. And then it becomes monotonous. And then we start getting in the monotony of that and stop working on trying to capture the heart of our woman. I want you to know that when you brought that woman into your life, you chased her down, you did all these things to get her attention, you did all the right things. That chasing never stops.
Right.
Once I learned that I have to pursue my wife for the rest of my life, that's when the doors open up, brother. So go back to those daily deposits And if you're really having a hard time nailing and executing, give us a call.
Yeah.
And if it's something psychosocial, whatever beyond that, last chance weekend. It's not just for people who are in, infidelity. It could be just from not being able to connect. All the things that you learn in there will create that connection.
Yep.
All right.
All right.
Who else do we got? I was given strict orders, Lakeisha. He doesn't like us going past 9:30.
I know. I got the same orders. So we can't get in trouble with management.
Oh, no. I'm sorry, people. We're not going to be able to stay on longer. I could stay on for another, but I'm not going to. I got to become more disciplined.
We know.
Listen. If you guys are in crisis, make sure you reach out. And then, there's that 15-minute call that's absolutely free. It's just to talk about your situation and get an idea of what we can do. And I'm going to run one last commercial, and then we're going to be out. So I want to say thank you guys for joining us tonight. Come back tomorrow with your questions and pop those in right at the beginning of the show so we can get right to it, so I don't have to fill dead air with my little stories, because I'll do that all night if I have to. All right. So just so for all the Spanish speakers, nosotros hablamos español y tenemos servicios en español por todo el mundo. And so this is our little commercial for that. Couples Academy is committed to serving couples around the world by reaching beyond cultural lines and language barriers. We are proud to announce that we now serve the Spanish-speaking community. So whether you're here in the United States or abroad, Couples Academy has a place for you.
Couples Academy se compromete a servir parejas de todo el mundo, superando las fronteras culturales y las barreras del idioma. Ahora, estamos orgullosos de anunciar que servimos a la comunidad de habla hispana. Entonces, ya sea que estés aquí en los Estados Unidos o en el extranjero, Couples Academy está aquí para servirle.